How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to another short film, and something a bit different today. And yeah, it's about being organised, and it's about having one of these, and it's a gear room. Now, I've been lucky enough to get the spare room back because our youngest, she's just bought her own place, so she's moved out. She's flown the nest, and it's vacated the spare room, so I'm back in. I've got squatters' rights, and I ain't moving, so all my stuff's in here. And this film, that's what it's about. It's just about being organised and how it can actually be a bit of a benefit having somewhere like this to put all your gear, but also how you store it. And it's just kind of my work routine, if you will. So when I've been out with the camera, what I do with all my stuff, and how I get ready for the next day's shoot. So stick with us, and you might learn something, you might not, but hey. Okay, so what have we got in here? Well, we've got pretty much everything. I don't like leaving the stuff out in the garage. We have a few issues with mice, especially this time of the year. So anything that's chewable, they're going to get their the pesky mitts on it, aren't they? So I like to have everything in the house, and it's, you know, everything's nice and dry. You know, even my rucksacks, camping gear, you know, all that kind of stuff, tents and hides and that. If you can get them inside where it's nice and dry and warm. So first off, what have we got? We'll come back to this bit at the end of the video, but down here we've got our hides. So we've got the hockey ground hide, the mornal, we've got the night oak, the chair hide, and also we've got a fold up chair. So that's pretty much all our concealment stuff. Down here, let's have a look. We've got all our camping gear basically. So we've got our out kit, Tetri, 2-man tent. That's great for, you know, going on multi-day trips and that. We've got a selection of sleeping bags and sleep mats. You know, we've got the Thermarest, which you saw me using in the hockey ground hide review. Great for a bit of insulation. You know, you've got a couple of inches of insulation between you and the ground. A variety of sleeping bags. We've got a 3-stroke 4-season bag there. We've got a couple of these are lightweight ones. That's a Van Gogh. That's a 2-stroke 3-season. Bit of a lightweight bag, that really. Something that I did mention about is a sleeping bag liner. Fantastic them. If you've only got one sleeping bag, you know, say it's you know, a 2 or 3 season one, and you want something for in winter, get yourself one of these. They're tiny. They're weighs 110 grams. That's a silk liner, and that'll add another season onto your bag. Also, it'll keep your bag clean. It's a lot easier to clean the liner, you know, if you get it mucky, than it is to actually clean the sleeping bag. So they're worth getting all of them. Silk ones are the best. Couple of dry bags. I've got quite a few of these. Great for you know, chucking your valuables in, your wallet, your phone. You might have a GPS. You know, anything that's really going to be susceptible to the rain and the, you know, the wet. I know camera bags, they have rain covers on them, but you know, you never know, do you? And you know, if you fall in a river or something like that, if you've got all your really valuable stuff in a dry bag, you're going to be okay. Pillars. Couple of hammocks as well. I like to use hammocks, and you know, sleep in them as well, but just taking them out, you know, when you're out on a nice spring or a summer day, and you're out scouting about and you just want to chill out for a bit, you know, have a bit of a power nap, a bit of a snooze, throw an hammock up, and yeah yeah, you're away. So that's all the camping stuff, you know, regarding sleeping bags, that kind of stuff. Under here we've got a large selection of stoves, because I don't tend to get rid of stuff or throw it away. So that one, I bought that when I was 16. I had Optimus Trekker. It's still going. It's still going. It's a great little stove. That runs on meths, so it's got pans built into it as well. That's fantastic for you know, a situation where you might want it might sound a bit strange this, but a silent stove. There's this one that I've got. This is a Primus Omni-Fuel, and it works off pressurized fuel. So it has a cylinder that you pump up. It'll run off diesel, petrol, white fuel. It runs off anything basically, but it is noisy. It's like a little rocket engine. You can see it there. That's it. But it is noisy as anything. So if you're, you know, say you're on a shoot where it's, you know, you've got a quarry that's sensitive, you don't want to be making a lot of noise, that's not the stove to take with you. Brilliant in windy conditions. You know, you put a little shroud around it, and it's absolutely, it'll work in any kind of climate, that as well. So different situations, you know, you've got different considerations to think about. Again, pots, pans, fuel bottles. So that's all that gear there. That's your cooking side of stuff. So going up onto here, this is all our clothing and concealment. I mean, when I come back from a day out with the camera, like we've been out today on the buzzard setup that we've got, what I tend to do, I'll come back, bring the camera gear up here, anything that needs to go on charge, I put on here, and then I empty the camera bag, and I put everything out where it belongs. Because I mean, I'm out again in the morning, I might not be taking what I needed today. You know, if I'm doing vlogging for YouTube, I've got all my vlogging stuff there. But what I tend to do is kind of minesweep the whole table. I'll say, right, I'll take that, take that, and take that, and load the bag up. It literally takes 5 minutes, and I'm ready to go. Then I just put the bag by the door, and then in the morning, pick the bag up, and I'm sorted. I've got all the batteries that I need. I've got my camera in there. I've got my memory cards, and I just find that it's just a more organised way of working. The amount of times, before I started doing this, the amount of times where I went out and I'd left a memory card, or I'd left a battery, and it's like, you know, it's it's frustrating. It's really frustrating when you forget something, and it can kind of ruin your day, really, you know, if it's something really important. So I just find this is a more organised way of working, really, and yeah, it works for me. So up here we've got mostly winter stuff at the moment. We've got a woolly bear, which is fantastic for working in hides. They go under a dry suit, these, you know, when people are diving, scuba diving and what have you. And it's a fleece lined, basically it's a big onesie, to be honest. And a mate of mine gave me this. It's warm as toast. You know, you're sat in a hide for 6 or 8 hours, you're sat in there all day, it is Baltic, you're not moving, you want to be warm, don't you? So one of them under your gear, brilliant, absolutely priceless. Dry socks, these are ace, these are sealskin dry socks. Wellies, notorious for springing a leak, aren't they? So get them on, get your hiking socks over the top of them. Even if your wellies or your boots leak, your feet are going to be dry. Nothing worse than having wet feet. It just makes you, I don't know, it makes you miserable. So gloves and mittens. Now I've got really bad circulation. I suffer terribly in the winter. My hands get really cold, and feet as well. So like I said, keep your feet dry and warm. Lecky socks, look at them. They actually they sound a bit gimmicky, but they were a present then for Christmas, and they were. I've used them a few times, and they're surprisingly good. So rechargeable battery socks. I'll chuck them over there. Assortment of gloves. Yeah. Mittens. I find, well, mittens are warmer than gloves. End of story. Now these ones, they're a 2-part thing. Got these from Military Mart in Berska. They're any army surplus store will be able to supply you with these. These are a Polish army mitten, fleece lined. They're what's called a lobster mitt. You can see there. And then this one, this is a NATO DPM mitten with a leather palm, cheap as chips. Honestly, I think these were a £5 a pair. And then the one the NATO one, which I put over the top because they're that's a Gore-Tex fabric. I think they were £7. So what's that? 12 quid for a a pair of them. Absolutely brilliant. They keep warm as toast. They've got a drawstring around there. Them in winter are absolutely invaluable. So I'll put a link in at the end of the video in the description to Military Mart. A great place. Loads of good gear like that. Again, military surplus places, they're fantastic supply places for any wildlife photography, because it's a lot of it's camo, it's olive green, and they're cheap as well. So it's just a bit of an alternative place to go, really, rather than some of the dedicated wildlife watching places. So we've got them. Selection of hats, all different colours, mostly greens and browns. Baseball cap there, the old bush hat there with the like real tree camo. That's a Jack Pike one. Every different scenario, there's a potential to wear different stuff in there. So it's just nice to have a bit of something to cover every eventuality. Kept these. I made these yonks ago. These were the first pair of camouflage fingerless mittens I made. Get them bad boys. And they actually work. They're all right. So hey, why not? Keep out of them. Now, 3D deer hunter camo. You've seen this in the roe deer video I did. Excellent stuff. This really good. We've got the gloves. It's a full piece suit. So we've got the pants, the top, and there's also like a head veil balaclava style thing. So very good stuff, that. Really good. Camo nets. 2 camo nets. I don't know if any of you are into running, but you remember Ron Hill Tracksters? I made them out of a pair of Ron Hills. That's the foot stirrup at the bottom. But bit of a draw going around, and they're great for storing them in. I always have 2 of these, slightly different colours. That's a bit of a lighter green, that one. Great for making hides, knocking a quick hide up, or I use them for throwing over the over that monal. And that's a slightly darker one. So yeah, they're a must are those. So we've 2 of them. We've also got a selection of scrim scarves. That's a DPM pattern, and they're about 5 of them. They're really cheap, but again great for just chucking over yourself. You can use them as scarves. If you've stopped the wind whistling around your neck, you can just use it as a scarf. You can put it over your face. You can cover your head, cover your camera gear, and again, cheap as chips, £5 a piece. That were a bit more expensive, that one. That were probably 12 to 15 quid, that one, but it's a big one, that. So right, what else have we got over here? A couple of hand warmers. Again, like I was saying, I get really cold hands, so they're just flameless hand warmers for winter. Bit of a seat pad for when you're out mooching about and stop your backside getting wet. So let's have a look on here on this side. Right, moving on to this table. Folding shovel. Great for hide making and situations where I know the other month I was putting a hide up, the ground was really undulating. Folding shovel, tenner I think, something like that, maybe a bit less. Dug it out, and you've got a nice level place for your hide then. Great little bit of kit. That's the photography mat. Again, wet weather. It's like over here, it's wet all the time, innit? Great that. Put it down, keep your camera bag dry, put your gear out, you're not in the grass and the mud. Elbow pads, knee pads, fantastic for working on the coast. Again, when we were photographing otters in Scotland, they're a lifesaver, them. Ace. Really worth wearing. bean bags. Now, somebody asked me recently about this bean bag and where I got it from. Well, I made this one myself, and I wanted one with handles on. You don't see a lot with handles. They've usually got like a strap that you can carry them with, but that, quite a good design really. I can use it on the car if I want and sit the camera on there, or just sit it on the deck and the camera nestles in that V. I'm going to do a video on how to make one of these and the templates that you need, so that's one coming up. First aid kit, loads of cordage, camo cordage, carabiners, little cheap snap link carabiners, again great for hide making. Selection of zip ties, straps, bungees, again mostly for hide making and setting perches up, that kind of thing. Little torch, handy to have these if you're doing any macro work, especially, you know, photographing fungi and you need an alternative light source. Rather than using flash, just take one of these, take your little torch with you, set up on a, oh, we've got that up, is set on a little GoPro mount and a little bendy tripod, and we can stick that on the ground, illuminate our subject, and yeah, it just gives us that bit more light. Power banks, a couple of power banks, great for charging your phone, charging equipment on the go. A couple of these little bags, I take these all the time with me. That one, it's a little dog treat bag. That's just full of mealworms and seed. Great for when you're out, just, you know, take a handful, put it on top of a post, sit and wait, and you'll always get birds coming down. Again, that's a bag full of little feeder pots, screwdriver, we've got some screws in there, zip ties for putting little tiny feeder pots on the back of posts and branches and setups. That's a product called Birdie Butter. It's basically lard with seed and mealworms in. Again, if you've you know, you've got these little feeder pots, you can fill them up, or any cracks in logs and setups. Again, what it does, it focuses the bird on staying in that particular location because they've got to work to get it out. So worth having a bit of that. Now onto here, onto a bit more technical stuff. I'm not going to go through everything because I've done it in the gear video, but it's just kind of an overview, if you will. We've got tripod heads, we've got a video head, ball head, little tripods. A lot of this is for vlogging. I don't think people realise the amount of stuff that you kind of accumulate when you're making films for YouTube, and bits of gizmos and gadgets. You know, little tripods, little Joby tripod there, and mobile phone mounts, selfie sticks, all that kind of stuff. There's another one. That's another one I've just got with a, you know, tripod on the bottom. And what else have we got? Right, that more of a summer thing really, but yeah, that's our solar charger. It's a 4-panel solar charger. Great thing, bit of kit that. It'll charge there's 3 charger ports on that, so you can charge 3 things at once. Our little Saloniac pouches, these go with me all the time. We've got Allen keys, tripod brackets, cleaning stuff. We've got lens cleaning cloths, lens wipes, blower brushes, AA batteries, AAA batteries. Little low pro box that's got a couple of self timers in, remote releases, again mostly for macro work, but you know, if we're setting the camera up remotely and we're pre-focused, we can fire them remotely. Vlogging stuff again, we've gone super lightweight with our vlogging kit. We've gone onto the Osmo Action and the Osmo Pocket. I'm filming on the Osmo Pocket at the moment. That's the one that it'll follow you, which has a little tiny electronic gimbal on the top, so great for motion tracking. And we've also got the Osmo Pocket as well, which is more like a GoPro really, but it's got a little screen on the front. So we've tried to shrink our gear down. Down here we've got tripod. That's our main Novo tripod. and also we've got the Benbow Trekker, a variety of bags. We've got our two main bags. That's my main camera bag. That's the Mindshift backlight 36 litre. That pretty much does everything I need. I'm actually going to look at the Shimoda. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a Shimoda X70, I think it is. It's a 70 litre backpack. I want a pack whereby I can put everything in. If I'm going away doing an overnighter with the backlight, there's not the Shimoda 70 litre. I can get the tent in it. I can get sleeping bag, food, stove. I can get the lot in it. It's a monster of a bag. So I'm going to be looking at that in the future. But we've also got the Foul Raven stubborn, which is what I tend to use when I'm going out scouting and what have you. You know, it's a seat combined. So, and that, apart from the camera gear, is pretty much it. Let's have a look at what up to the last bit, the camera gear. It's looking a bit paltry, my camera gear at the moment. Yeah, it is. I've got my 150 to 600 and the D500 and that 18 to, what is it? 18 to 135 and a teleconverter. So, not good, is it? I'm saving up at the moment for a 300 2.8. I think that'll be a great acquisition, that, and a macro lens as well. So at the moment, I look at other people's gear videos, and I'm a bit envious, to be honest. They've this big line of, I don't know how many umpteen lenses, but I don't know. I'm not too gear heavy in the way of photography stuff at the moment, really. I'm trying to build it up, but yeah, I tend to focus really on the watching side of it and the actual fieldcraft. You know, I think it's an important thing. I think anyone that's getting into wildlife photography, don't be so keen to just buy all the best gear straight off. You know, get yourself some decent camo and hides and that, and really get into knowing your subjects and knowing how to get close to them and learning their habits. And I think it'll be more successful for people who are getting into it to do that first, rather than, like I said, buying all the best gear and the biggest, fanciest lenses and that, and then slowly start building your collection of camera gear up. So that's what I'm doing anyway. So yeah, we've got binoculars, an absolute must. That's one of the first things you should buy. You know, before you even get a camera, get yourself some binoculars and learn how to use them and get close to stuff. And that's really it. We've got I always take that with me, little YouTube ideas book, and jotting on me when I'm out there and I have a brainwave, I jot it down. When you're waiting for, sat in a hide for 6 hours, you need something to do sometimes. So I always take that with me. And that's it, really. That's all this video's about. It's just about kind of being organised, really, and how it can benefit you. Now, I mean, going back, I mentioned over here before. Let's move you down here. So when I bring all my gear in, like I said, I empty the bag, put everything, where it kind of goes, and then all my chargers are here. So I've got all the chargers set up, ready to go. Anything that needs to be charged, I put on there. Anything that is being currently charged will go on here. And then when it's done, put it back over here. Get the batteries back in the camera, get the memory cards back in the camera, everything in its place. And like I said, I'm out tomorrow in the morning. We're going down to the buzzard hide, and in an hour or two I'll get the bag sorted out and we're ready to go. Then all we have to do is chuck a flask of coffee in and a packet of figs, and we're good to go, aren't we? So hey, it's just been a short video showing you a gear room and how it can be a benefit to you. So if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, and yeah, maybe subscribe, share it, whatever. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.